Hello, everyone. Just gonna make sure I'm loud enough. 1 second. Hello. Happy Friday. Can everybody hear me okay? Sound off. I'm gonna look at the chat right now. Cheers. Late night with DDubs. What's up, everybody? Sorry, it took me a while to get my chat up. Drew, Rudak, Edison. It's true. It's a late night with DDubs. My wife Rachel is traveling, so I'm solo parenting this weekend. So that's why I'm going late, because I was picking up kids and making dinner and hanging out with my two kiddos instead of going live. But they're asleep now, so I have some time to draw. This is a Conan shirt. Right on, Biz. Jeremy, Heisenberg, Dow, Brown, Mist, James, Greg, Scoot, Rudak, hello, Connor, hello, Oscar, good to see you. Welcome to another edition. What up? So we got a page today. It's just taking a nice long time. Actually, it's not taking that long. I've had other things I've had to do today, so I shouldn't be dramatic. Let's go to, I don't know if I can answer them all, but I'm going to try and answer some questions that were asked last week in my Friday with DDubs episode 173. I don't think that I recommend. So Rudak asked if I recommended Elder Omen's album. I've never listened to Elder, so I don't think I would recommend them. So I'm just, for those people that maybe don't know, a lot of times I miss questions stream because I'm drawing and I don't have like a helper to ask them for me or read them out. So I just miss stuff naturally. But if you are wondering something that I didn't answer on the stream, you can always leave a comment on the video after it uploads, and I will try and go through it the next week and get to it. Let's see. I also really appreciate the kind words that everybody gives me as well. So there's not all these are questions. It's very sweet. West Coast Avengers asks, Dan, what's your go-to score or soundtrack to put on while I'm working? It kind of varies, but if I'm doing like any sort of like action stuff that's like kind of not lighthearted, but just fun, I do put on the Transformers 1986 soundtrack. Fun fact, if you want to get deeper with your Transformers music lore, Vince DiCola did actually do an entire instrumental soundtrack to go along with the musical numbers by the bands that everybody kind of knows, like Dare, The Touch, you got the power. But there's 2 or 3 Vince DiCola who did the instrumental songs. There's 2 or 3 cuts on the main record, on the main soundtrack, but he also did an entire soundtrack that's like an hour long of a bunch of different just instrumental stuff. You can buy it on iTunes, I think. You can't stream it. But so there's a hot tip for you. Jacoda asks if I killed off both Skywarp and Starscream. Well, I loving books 1 and 2. Okay, so Transformers. Well, I'll say keep reading. That's what I'll say. James says I should record a mini documentary video of this trip that I'm going on to see Shiro Masamune's work, and that's very true, and I think I'm going to try and do that. I am going to Japan in the end of May to see the Masamune Shiro exhibit that's going on at the Setagaya Literary Museum. I'm super excited. I'm only going to be there for a few days, but hey, you only live once, and that Appleseed art has never been displayed, as far as I know. And I don't think it's coming out anytime soon after it goes up. So I'm going. Let's see. So Tim asks if now that yourself are incorporating color in this new science fiction book you're working on, how does that change how you work with your colorist Mike Spicer? Well, I'm talking with Mike about it, and we're figuring out the best way to approach it. We're not totally sure how we're going to do it yet, but he is going to be involved in the process somehow. I don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but we are figuring it out, and Mike is too amazing of a collaborator for me not to work with him, honestly, on every project. So as long as he'll have me, he'll be involved somehow. So let's see. Mitchell Sink says, "Hey Daniel, I love your work with Transformers. I'm a new artist. I'm trying to find a way to make it into a career. Comics is a path that I'm seriously considering. What are the prospects of making a livable income? And where would you start if you were just getting into it? Right now, I'm working on my own website where I plan on posting my comic and merch and just building a brand. What are your thoughts?" Honestly, Mitchell, I would say that, it sounds like you've already kind of got the ball rolling. I'd say make stories, even if they're short, even if they're only a page, even if they're only 4 panels. If you want to make comics, you got to show people that you can make comics. And that means that the first few are going to be stinkers. Maybe not necessarily, but they're not going to be amazing because you're just starting out, and that's okay. But there's an earnestness and an energy to people that are making comics, even ones that have never made one before, and if anything, that's something I've appreciated about AI art. It's so bad and it's so soulless that it makes me appreciate even the people that are just starting out who maybe aren't good at drawing, because there's more earnestness and more love and more passion in those lines than there could ever be from a computer prompt. So, rant over. Basically, be open, be at peace, but also keep pushing yourself. It's a tough tightrope to walk, but it is possible. Actually, I don't know if it's possible. Let me know how it goes. Brandon asks if there are any more t-shirts or things that are going to be added to the website. Any exclusives or mini comics. Hope you're well. Thank you, Brandon. So I don't have the time or bandwidth to really work on my merch right now. Rachel sometimes helps me with it, but it's a tall order. And we're trying to figure out how to make the margins work, honestly. When we did our Do a Powerbomb shirts, they were not cheap. They were like $33 or something. That's like before sales tax and shipping. That's a lot. But we looked at like how much printing was going to cost and everything, and that was the only way we could like make it work, and we didn't even make that much money on the shirts. So I'm not saying it's all about money, but I am saying I have to figure out a way to make it make more money, or to scale it up in a way that makes sense, so that making merch actually makes sense. Because right now, me working on comics, writing comics, drawing covers, drawing interior pages, I can pay my way for my family to eat groceries better than I can when working on t-shirts. So that might sound a little callous and capitalist, but unfortunately it is a harsh reality. Oh, someone from Low Lounge reached out to me and said they had some t-shirts available. I know that Low Lounge, I did some Low Lounge t-shirts. They are getting a reprint. It might be a different colorway, or it might be two different colorways this time, but they've been a super big success at the shop. People love the shirt. So, um, Ben, the owner, asked if I would be willing, if it would be okay if they printed up another run. And I was like, yeah, go ahead. Um, yes. Okay, wow, 112 people. It's a late night. 12, and we're working on a comic book page. Excuse me. Got some chaos action here today. This is taking a very. Sorry, I'm not. I shouldn't complain. It's a little bit yellow today. There we go. Oh yeah, Kiwi. I've been working on this for since before I started my YouTube channel. Honestly, if anything, this YouTube channel has kind of grown with this this comic. Yes, Jack, that is correct. Thank you very much, Greg. Oh, Brown Mist is asking what I do if I make a mistake when drawing. Can it be erased or do I just go over it? I have some white out here. It's called Pro White. This is my favorite. It's like rock solid. A lot of whiteouts I've found don't do a great job of holding the ink after the fact, after you put it down. So yeah, I'm kind of going for a Conan the Barbarian kind of vibe with this one. I agree, bored loner. Record Breakers is awesome. Great record store in Chicago. There's another really cool record store close by to Loaf Lounge called, I think it's called Signal Records. Very cool shop. Oh my gosh, I forgot Record Store Day was coming up. Ben, this is for a upcoming sci-fi epic that I've been working on for a long time. I've been sketching the characters since about 2017. I've been writing it since about 2020, which would make you think that maybe I have more, like a ton of scripts in the can, but that is not actually true, because writing this thing, this is one of those stories that doesn't want to get made. It's a stubborn one. I've had to fight this guy. Sorry, I have to get in here. Jacobo, I think sometime next year. Oh, all the time, Scoot. That's kind of the deal I have to make with my viewers too. Is like everybody kind of understands. Like I'm a YouTuber, second artist first. So oh, very excited. I actually read the issue. He sent me a PDF of it, and it's awesome. Of Tyrell's Eris book. More news to come with that. We might have Tyrell on as a guest in April to talk about Eris on a future Friday with DDubs stream sometime in April. Camera down. One sec, everyone. Sorry about that. Alright, gotta fill this baby up with some more ink. um, different ink in those parallel pens. I've said it many times, but I use platinum carbon ink. Been using this a little bit more lately. This is the Kuretake A-liner ultra fine brush. I guess it's like kind of meant for hair, but I don't use it for hair. I'd use the crap out of this thing. Look how tiny that is. Like a needle. Makes me think of the bug, the assassin bug in Dune. Okay. Thanks, Matt. Have a good night. Oh, Jack, it's all just vibes. See that kind of anxious energy I get from this parallel pen here? You can't get that with a micron. You know, microns just don't do that. Microns love intentional control. But when you try to abuse them, they get fussy. I find that sometimes I like my microns best when they're old, so I never throw out my microns. I've had microns that there's a micron around here that I've literally used on extremity. I'm not kidding. If you ever see a micron in my studio that has a red band around the body, that means I used it on extremity. They're around. Still going. You know, they're old and they don't have a ton of ink, but great for textural effects or what have you. Or when I need to draw something really thin or small, an old 08 micron always does the trick. Ugh, I hate that. So that's a big mistake. I really don't like the way that looks. It's bothering me. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to white it out as soon as I possibly can. I'm getting tired. I'm making dumb mistakes here. Jack Price, this is a Pilot parallel pen. This is a 6.0 millimeter, which is really the only one I use. They make a bunch of different sizes, but so you can do these fat marks, but then you can also do, look at that really skinny mark down there. Fat, skinny. So fun. That Conan shirt is from a account called Weapon Prime. Okay, I know what I can do. Low stakes here, guys and gals, people. We're gonna draw this crowd. Thank you, Edison. Zach peacing? Bye bye, Zach. People are peacing out because it's getting late, but I understand. Have a great day, Allison. Sorry. Sonic Cobra, it's changed so much. A lot of what science fiction and fantasy, a lot of what world building is figuring out what the rules are. Feels like the first step of the process for this book, at least, was I really had to take time to figure out what could and couldn't happen in the story, because I was just, as when I was thinking about it, I just was like, there were so many possibilities, and I just kept flinging myself into, no pun intended, outer space. So just not sure where I should take the story, you know? So the only way to get past this is to start writing it, start outlining it. And part of it is that you have an idea for a world or for the way something works in the story, and you can build characters around that and situations that kind of like play with that. But then you can also, just come up with cool characters, which is, so I did a little bit of both, Part of me wonders if I should be so open with the process of making this book, you know? Like if it might like ruin the surprise, but I feel like the people that come to these streams, I could be wrong, but I feel like most of the people watching, they like really care about the craft, and it's inspiring for people to see it, and it's worth whatever, you know, tonal surprises maybe get ruined a little bit, if that makes sense. See, that's what I feel like, Dylan. That's exactly what I'm thinking, West Coast. It's like, oh, like, if anything, I think this will get people more excited. It's like, hey, did you hear this thing that he's been working on since, you know, like way before even COVID? And I remember, you know, like when the pandemic really hit, like late March, early April, and everybody's just sitting around being like, what the heck are we gonna do? I was like, okay, this is it. I've been kind of like trying to piece together my my sci-fi story. Let me write it. Let me write the outline. And I worked at it and worked at it, and I finally had to let it go. Like I had to shelve it. So that was like pretty early 2020. I worked on it till about June, and before I finally had to take a break because I was getting so frustrated. And I wasn't gonna keep working on it. Really, I kind of like it was kind of like a death. Like I mourned the fact that I couldn't figure it out, and I just kind of let it sit. And when did Dune 1 come out? 2021. Does anybody remember when in 2021? October, that's right. So I saw Dune in October of 2021, and I went home and basically pulled the script back out. It got me excited to really try and work on it again. So I guess I owe Denis a drink or something. Because this would not be here without that first Dune film. And to this day, Dune 1 is one of my all-time favorites. And I actually like it way more than I like Dune 2. I still really like Dune 2. I like Dune 1 way more. Yeah, I remember that was one of the first movies I saw. Like post-ish pandemic. It was still going on, but we're almost done with the gross wall here. With all the gross, bodies and hello, Kobe. Bye, Edison. Sorry. What a great book, Critical Monkey. You're welcome, Brunson. New pen. I don't have anything new. I can use this for a little bit. Yo, Pomo, you're welcome. Any chance I have anybody from Japan in the chat? I know I don't have that many readers in Japan, but I know I have a few. Thanks, Neo. This new pen is not refillable. There's no access point. So I buy a few at a time. But honestly, you know, if like we really want to talk about, if we're really gonna be, wait, let's experiment here. So here's the Kuretake. This is like hairline. You know, that's I mean, that's about as thin as I can make it. There we go. Okay. But check this out. You know, so that's with the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. Like that's pretty thin. Okay, so let's go from here. Let's do this. Okay. And it doesn't return to its as well as the Pentel. So it starts really thin, but then to get it back, it has a bit of a sloppier, lazier return. It doesn't have a snap like the Pentel does. The Pentel barely has a snap, really. It's no Winsor Newton, but, you know, it does put most other brush pens to shame, I will say. I was talking with another cartoonist once. When I really did the big switch from mostly using Winsor Newton Series 7s to Pentels because I was sick of dealing with them. I don't mind spending money on them, but they were just so temperamental, you know. If the weather changed, so would their kind of like, so would like how their feel would be. And this cartoonist was like, no. It doesn't hold a candle to the Pentel doesn't hold a candle to the Winsor Newton Series 7, and I was like, I don't know. She's like, nope, and I was like, I don't know. You do get duds. The Pentel Pocket Brush Pen is not created equal. So before you give up on Pentel's Pocket Brush Pen, if it's your first one that you've had, buy another and give it a try. Ginger Bear, you know I do. Sure, West Coast, that can count. I found out that they are indeed making a Masamune Shirow exhibition catalog or like basically like art book. I'm so excited. And of course, you know, I could get the art book from the internet or whatever, but it's gonna feel so good to go to that exhibit and just buy it myself there. There also is like gonna be like an absolute F ton of goodies and like stickers and stuff that I don't need. That's all like um, it's all like Appleseed based. Take my money. Jacobo, it'll probably be around 60 to $70. Hello, Master Light Curl. I think I'm just about tapped. And we've been streaming for a long time. Might be time to call it. Thank you for watching, Nicholas. It's good to have you here. Oh, that's way better. The direction of the flowing cape can make all the difference when it comes to momentum. Damn it. It's fine. I have Alison Krauss in my head right now. I really wish I could play it. Talking Heads, yeah, push yourself with the backgrounds. Tunes, you know what it is? It's more like an obsession. You know, like this book with its stories and its characters is like in me, and I have to get it out. It's also, you know, this is the way that I mean, it's crazy to say, but this is the way that I provide for my family. So it's a really amazing motivator when your kids are sleeping. And I also love it. It's fun. Dude, that's so awesome, Nintendo. Alright. is not working? God Country is awesome. Okay, I gotta stop because I'm making dumb mistakes. And I'm only gonna get more frustrated, so I really have to stop. I wanted to finish this today, but it's not in the cards. I just need to take a break, make some beats or something, and chill before I have to wake up and solo parent in the morning. too lazy to get another sheet of tone. It's fine. All right. Ooh, I'm tired. I'm bushed. Thank you to everybody for the amazing late night stream. You're all fantastic. Couldn't have done. Can't do all this drawing and writing without the support of the fans, of course, as always. You all know that. Thanks for everything. I'll see you next week. You're all the best. Take care.